Good day everyone. Welcome back to the rapid revision series of social science subject. So in this video I am going to speak about the political science subject uh, which is there for 20 marks in your board examination. So total number of chapters in the political science syllabus is 5. Power sharing and federalism are the two minor chapters. Gender, religion and caste often they ask 3 marks and 2 marks question. Political parties and outcomes of democracy are the two major chapters which is asked for 5 marks question and even for the 3 marks question. So let us take the power sharing chapter. So in the very beginning of the power sharing chapter, two strange stories are given. Two parallel stories are given. Story of Belgium and story of Belgium and story of Sri Lanka. So these two stories are very important. Story of Sri Lanka. These two stories are very important because you can connect this story as the example for any of the contents in this chapter. So while writing the answer, you can use these stories as the example for the questions which comes in the political parties. For the federalism chapter question and answers you can use. For the outcomes of democracy question and answers also you can use these two stories as the example. So what the story of Belgium speaks about? So different ethnic groups people were settled in the Belgium. So 59% of the Dutch speaking people, 59% of the people are Dutch speaking. They are in the Flemish region, and 49% of the people are French speaking. They are in the Wallon region, and 1% of the people are German speaking. So you can see three ethnic groups people are settled in the Belgium. The Dutch were the Dutch are the majority in the Belgium, and when you take this composition in the Brussels, Brussels is the capital of the Belgium. So in the Brussels, you can see 80% of the people were French, whereas only the 20% of the people were Dutch speaking people. So what was the condition of the Dutch speaking people in the Belgium means they were majority across the country, whereas they were minority in the capital city Brussels. Even French speaking people attained economic prosperity and they were educated compared to the Dutch speaking people. So what was the solution for this? The Belgian leaders sat together, both Dutch speaking and French speaking people, and they made some necessary changes to their constitution to accommodate the existence of both the community or both the ethnic groups together in the Belgium. So accommodation of what power or the necessary amendments were done in the Belgian constitution by the Belgian political leaders. So what are those changes? In center, Dutch and French speaking ministers will be equal. So in the center, that is the central government of Belgium, so they brought a new amendment. Both Dutch speaking and French speaking people ministers shared the power. They both were equal in numbers now. In center, Dutch and French speaking ministers will be equal, and they given power to states. They given what? Power to states, Wallon region and Flemish region. So all these separate states, provincial governments were given independent powers, and Brussels got separate government. So Brussels also got what? Separate government. And what is the another change now? Community government was established. Very important. So you can see the establishment of community government. So three community governments were established in the Belgium. Which are the three community governments means Dutch community government, French community government, and German community government. Totally three kinds of government: central government, state government, and community government. So central government, it is for entire Belgium. State government, it is for the different states or different provinces of the Belgium. Community government, it is for the different communities of the Belgium. Three communities. Which are those three communities? Dutch, French, and German community governments. Now another story is given, that is story of Sri Lanka. So in the story of Sri Lanka, ethnic composition is very important to understand. Sinhala speaking people were the majority. They were almost Sinhala speaking people were almost 74%, and they were practicing the Buddhism. What was the religion practiced by them? No, it was Buddhism. Buddhism was practiced. Buddhism is practiced by Sinhala speaking people and Tamil speaking people. It includes both Indian Tamils and Sri Lankan Tamilians together. They were approximately 18%. So Tamil speaking people, they are almost 18%. So they practiced Christianity, Hinduism, and Islam. So this is the ethnic composition of what? Of Sri Lanka. Sinhalas were the majority. They were 74%, and majority of the Sinhalas were practicing Buddhism. Only 7% of the Sinhalas were practicing Christianity, whereas Tamil speaking people were practicing Hinduism and Christianity and even the Islam. So this is the broad view of the ethnic composition of the Sri Lanka. So majoritarian rule was started by the Sinhala community government, or Sinhala, as they were the majority, they got power easily. So after independence of Sri Lanka, power was transferred to the Sinhalas. So they started to rule the Sri Lanka, which come to be known as majoritarianism. Majoritarianism means rule by majority. So as they were large in number, they were easily able to catch the power in Sri Lanka. So they started majoritarian rule across the Sri Lanka. So in 1956, they brought an act. Sinhala was recognized as official language of the Sri Lanka. So 1956 Act is very important. 1956 Act. So according to the 1956 Act, Sinhala became official language, only official language of the Sri Lanka, and Tamil couldn't get the recognition in this act, and created the feeling of distrust. See, the majority, that is the Sinhala people, started to do the favorism for the Sinhala language and for the Buddhism. So gradually what happened? There was a creation of distrust between Sinhala speaking people and Tamil speaking people. Government always started to favor the Sinhala speaking people and Sinhala ethnic group, and even they started to foster the Buddhism. So all this created the separation between the Sinhalas and Tamil speaking people. Okay. So civil war was started. So civil war was started between whom? Between the Sinhalas and Tamils. So between the Sinhala speaking people and Tamil speaking people, the civil war was started, which ended in the destruction of the socio-economic life of the Sri Lankan people, and this war come to end only during the 2008-9. So very important word to remember, Tamil alien. Tamil call for separate Tamil alien, for call for creation of separate Tamil alien by the Tamil speaking people was the reason behind the outbreak of what? Outbreak of civil war. So that's it to speak about the story of Sri Lanka. So these two stories are parallel. So both faced the same ethnic composition, complexity in their politics, but Belgium carefully handled the situation and it got the solution, whereas Sri Lanka failed to recognize the importance of the power sharing. It denied to share the power with the minorities, and it end with the what? And it end with the breaking of civil war, outbreak of civil war. So these two are the parallel story which you need to recall. It helps you to flex the multiple choice question, and even this helps you to be the example for the long answers in the political parties and outcomes of democracy questions. From those chapters, main questions will come. For that, you can use this as the example. So let us take the two prime reasons behind the power sharing. Why power sharing is desirable? There are two reasons for the desirability, or why we need to share the power. Means one, it is prudential reason, another one it is moral reason. One, it is prudential reason, another one it is moral reason. It's very important to understand these two terms. Two reasons are there. Prudential reason means it reduces the chances of conflicts. So power sharing reduces the chances of conflicts. What is the moral reason? Means moral reason is a basic spirit of democracy, ensures that all citizens are heard and consulted. So everyone must be consulted. That is the moral reason behind the sharing power. What is the prudential reason? It reduces the conflict. These are the two reasons why power sharing is desirable. Means in 2 marks question you need to mention one reason it is prudential reason, another reason it is moral reason. So let us look into the 4 forms of power sharing. Very important. So power sharing is done in the 4 forms, or what is the title? Forms of power sharing. Here I will write forms of power sharing. So there are 4 forms of power sharing. Very important. Often it will be asked for 2 marks or 3 marks question. Forms of power sharing. Number 1, power sharing among the different organs of government. Power sharing among the different organs of government. That is, different organs means legislative, executive and judiciary. So the power is shared among the different organs of the government, that is among legislative, executive and judiciary. This form of power sharing is also known as check and balance, because one cannot overrule the another organ. So each organ has its unique function in the government. So here the power of one organ is checked by the another organ. So it can be called as power sharing, like check and balance. Okay, don't forget multiple choice question, which is what is the example for a check and balance form of power sharing? Means it is power sharing among the different organs of the government. You can also call it as horizontal power sharing. Second one, it is vertical power sharing. So in this case, power is shared among the different tiers of government, that is among the central government, state government and local self government. So This is known as horizontal power sharing. Here power is shared between the different tiers of the government. One government is at the center for the entire country. Another government it is at the provincial level or at the state level. For the different states, different state governments do exist, and local self government it is for the what? It is for the uh, local, where the local people involved. So in decision making, it is known as what? Vertical power sharing. Next it is power sharing among the different social groups. Power sharing among different social groups. One example, here only it is there. Community government is an example for what type of power sharing means power sharing amongst different social groups. So power is shared with the minorities. So majorities are going to share the power with the minorities. Society means there will be different groups. So some groups are majority in number, some groups are minority in number. So here the majority should agree to share the power with the minority. So one such example you can trace from the Belgium, that is community government. It's an example for power sharing among the different social groups. And last form of power sharing it is power sharing among the political parties, pressure groups and movements. Political parties, power sharing among political parties, pressure groups and movements. So coalition government is an example. What is the example for the fourth form of power sharing, that is power sharing between political parties, pressure groups and movements means it is coalition government. Coalition government is an example for the power sharing among the different political parties or between the pressure groups and movements. So these are the four forms of power sharing. Horizontal power sharing, that is power is shared between different organs of the government, legislative, executive and judiciary. It is also known as check and balance form of power sharing. So power is shared between the different tiers of government, that is central government, state government and local self-government. So social group power sharing among the different social groups. One example is community government, and power sharing between political parties, pressure groups and movements. Example is coalition government. Coalition government is an example for what? Coalition government is an example for the power sharing between different political parties, pressure groups and movements. That's it to speak about this chapter, power sharing. If you recall these points, what are the points? Two strange stories, story of Belgium, story of Sri Lanka, and what are the reasons behind the power sharing, and which are the forms of power sharing. It is enough to know about this chapter. So let us move to the next one, that is federalism. So federalism basically is a form of power sharing. As I already said, it's a form of power sharing. What type of power sharing? No, it is vertical power sharing. Power is shared between the different tiers of the government. So one government will be there for the entire country, which come to be known as central government, and different state governments do exist along with the central government. So one government, that is central government. Another one government, it is for different provinces or states, it is known as state government. So this type of power sharing is known as vertical power sharing. It is also known as federal system. So India is following the federal setup. One government is there for entire country, central government, and different states of India is having its own respective state governments. So if there is two or more than two tiers of government, it can be recognized as federal system. So in India, you can see three tiers. Another one tier is there, which is that local self-government. That is local self-government. So under the local self-government, you can see both rural and urban. Rural, that is Panchayat Raj, and urban, that is municipalities and corporations. Let us take this chapter. It is also very important chapter which comes for 2 marks and 3 marks question. Let us look into the different types of government, different types of power sharing. Under the different types of power sharing, in the previous chapter, that is in the power sharing itself, I said 4 are there. Among that, one it is federal system, that what we are speaking in this chapter. Here we need to look into different types of government. One it is federal government and another one it is unitary government. Federal government and another one it is unitary government. Unitary government. Federal government means where the power is shared between the tiers of government. 2 or more than 2 tiers of government are example for federal system. What is meant by unitary government? Either one level of government will be there or subunits or subordinates. So in case of unitary government, either only one level of government will be there. If other governments coexist, those governments will be subordinate to the one tier of government. That is for unitary government. Only one level of government it is. Here 2 or more than 2 tiers of government. This basic should be known to you. Let us look into the features of federalism. Very important. So features of federalism, often asked for 2 marks or 3 marks. What are the key features? One feature, it is already said, federalism has 2 or more than 2 tiers of government. Each tier has its own jurisdiction, legal boundary, what we call as jurisdiction. Jurisdiction refers to legal boundary. So each tier of government has its own boundary. And number 3, constitutional guarantee. So the country's constitution must recognize the existence of federal system. 3 points I said: 2 or more than 2 tiers of government, separate jurisdiction, and separation of power by constitution or constitutional recognition. Constitutional recognition is very important. Constitutional recognition is very important, and fundamental provisions cannot be changed unilaterally. Very important. So fundamental setup of this federalism cannot be changed unilaterally either by one tier of government, either central government or state government cannot change the federal system of our country India. You all know amendments can be done, but for the federal system, amendments can be done only with the agreement of both central and state government. So fundamental cannot be changed by the one tier of government or unilaterally. Unilateral, that means by one tier of government, fundamentals cannot be changed. Fundamentals of power sharing, that is fundamentals of federal system, cannot be changed by the one tier of government. Number 4, courts have the power to settle the disputes. So a judiciary, that is courts. So if there is conflicts between the central and state government in case of federal system, who is the umpire to settle the cases means it is courts. So judiciary is the umpire. So usually Supreme Court is the umpire to resolve the cases between central government and the state government. And source of revenue are specified. To run any government, revenue source is very important. So those source of revenue is separated or specified for both the tiers. Both the tiers are having its own source of income to run the government. So what is the dual object behind the federal system means? Dual object is to safeguard and promote the unity. One reason is to safeguard and promote the unity, and another reason is to accommodate the regional diversity. To safeguard the unity in diversity. Yeah, India is a country which is best example for the unity in diversity. So how it is preserved means by sharing the power between the different tiers of government. So that is the one key object behind the federal system, to safeguard and promote the unity. And number two, to accommodate the regional diversity. Even it is very important to accommodate or to give space for the regional diversities. So those two are very important objects behind the federal system. When we look into the roots of federal system, there are two roots of federal system. One it is coming together, another one it is holding together. Number one it is coming together, and another one it is holding together. Holding together. These are the two roots of the federal system. Coming together, independent states join to form a larger territory, or it is going to join to form a larger nation. Example, USA. Coming together, USA is the best example. And holding together, a large country dividing power between the small states. States are subunits of the central here. So a large country is going to divide the power between the small states. In this case, small states are going to be subordinate to the central. That is known as holding together root of federal system. Example is our own country, India. So these are the two tiers of the federal system. Next, it is very important to know in this chapter about what makes India a federal country. Very important regarding the India and federal system it is. So what makes India a federal country? A federal country. Few things are recognized to call our India as the federal country. What are those aspects? Let us see. Union, state, and third tier, that is panchayat. So you can see the three tiers of the federal setup in our country, India. One government is there for the entire country, that is central government. It is in the New Delhi. State government, each and every state of India is having the state government, its own respective state governments. So it runs the state administration, day-to-day affairs of the state is looked after by the respective state governments. And another tier is there, three tiers in our country, India. Three tiers. Third tier is local self-government. So local self-government is there to look after the local affairs. So that is the one feature which recognizes India as a federal country. Number two, three lists you can see. Which are the three lists you can see in our Indian constitution? No? Union list, state list, and concurrent list. Union list, state list, and concurrent list. Concurrent list. So you can see three lists. So the separation of power is shown. The subjects are mentioned in the list. Union list is having the subjects which are which are having national importance. State list are the state list is having the subjects which are very important for each and every state to make its own law for to run the day-to-day administration. And concurrent list, it is having common subject in which both the central government and state government can make the law. So three lists you can see in our country India. And process to change the constitution, not unilateral. So in India, I already said fundamental structure of the federal setup cannot be changed by one tier of government. Unilaterally, fundamentals of federal system cannot be changed. So here, both state government and the central government should come to a mutual trust, or both should agree. Actually, the procedure to change the fundamental structure of the federalism, or how amendment can be done for the federal system in our country India, means the bills must pass with the 2/3 of majority in both Rajya Sabha as well as in Lok Sabha, and the same should be agreed at least by the half of the states. So then only you can make the amendment for the fundamental structure of the federal setup in our country India. So unilateral amendment power for the fundamental structure of the federalism is not possible in our country India. And High Court and Supreme Court are there to settle the disputes. So High Court and Supreme Courts are there in our country India, that is judiciary, to settle the cases or the disputes between the whom? Between the central and state governments. And state and central government have power to impose taxes. So as they are financially independent, so they are having power to impose taxes. They are having power to impose what? Impose taxes. They can impose separate taxes. So state government can impose its own tax. Central government can also impose its own tax. So these features indicates the existence of federal system in our country India. Apart from this, how India is practicing federalism. How India is practicing federalism means through the linguistic states. Let me wipe the board of this corner. Okay. So how India is practicing federalism? Number one, through linguistic states. So you all know in our country India, states are based upon what? Languages. So linguistic states are the one feature which shows the practice of federalism in our country India. States were created on the basis of language in India, and this was done to ensure the people who spoke the same language to be lived in the same state. For example, all Kannada speaking people are settled in Karnataka, all Tamil speaking people in the Tamil Nadu, all Marathi speaking people in Maharashtra. Likewise, the formation of states based upon what? Based upon the language, that is linguistic states. And why it was done? This was done to ensure the same language speaking people are settled in same states. And some states were created on the basis of culture, ethnicity and geography. That is also there. Not only the language, even to preserve the culture, ethnicity and language. Uttarakhand, Nagaland are the example. Uttarakhand, Nagaland are the states which is example, which is created based upon the culture, ethnicity and what? And not language, sorry, and Based upon geography. Based upon what? Geography. Okay. Uttarakhand and Nagaland. This made, so after the creation of the linguistic states, administration became what? Very easy. So another way how India is practicing federalism means through the language policy. No official language, no national language for India. No language is recognized as the national language in our country, India. Hindi and English are the two official languages in our country, India. Okay, no national language policy, and flexibility is shown to accommodate the different language groups in our country, India. Hindi is identified as the official language. So along with the Hindi and even the English are the two official languages of India. No national language. Please remember, Constitution never recognizes any language as the national language in our country, India. So you can say two official languages or in usage, that is Hindi and English. Both are the two official languages of our country, India. Along with Hindi, 21 other scheduled languages are there. So 21 scheduled languages are there. 21 what? Scheduled languages. Scheduled languages. So including Hindi, it will become 22. So 21 scheduled languages are recognized by our constitution. So each and every central examination, central government employment, that is UPSC exams, are conducted in all the scheduled languages, because to promote the regional languages in our country, India. So 21 languages are recognized as the scheduled languages by our constitution, India. All the central government employment job exams are conducted in the 21 scheduled languages along with Hindi and English. Another way how India is practicing federalism means, that is state and center relationship. You can see another one. 3 are there: linguistic states, language policy over. Number 3, center and state relationship. Center and state relationship. So you can see two scenarios related to center and state relationship in our country, India. Number 1, it is before 1990s. Before, and another one, it is after. So these are the two aspects you have to remember. Before 1990s, the state and center relationship was different. Whereas after 1990s, the state and center relationship became different. So before 1990s, same political party was ruling in the different states of the country and even in the center. That is, central government is also ruled by same political party, and majority of the Indian states were ruled by the same political party across the India before what? Before 1990s. And even it was easy for that political party to gain majority to form the government at center. But after 1990s, as the regional parties started to grow, the era of coalition government started. Era of what? Coalition government started after what? After 1990s. Era of coalition government. Era of coalition government. As the one single party tried to get the majority to form the government at the center, the era of coalition government started after 1990s. Even by the time the regional parties became strengthened in our country, India. So to form the government in the center, the political parties, two or more than two political parties started to come together in order to form the government at the center. Hence, you can see the beginning of the coalition government era in our country, India, after 1990s. Before 1990s, the scenario was different. So after 1990s, the scenario became different. So 3 points how India is following the federalism means linguistic states, that is states are formed based upon the languages, language policy, no national language, Hindi and English are the official languages of India, and 21 scheduled languages along with the Hindi, which are recognized by our constitution, and center and state relationship. So here two scenarios, before 90s and after 90s. The era of coalition government started after 90s. I want to speak next about the decentralization of power. Actually, what is meant by decentralization of power means power is taken from the center and the state and given to the local self-government. So power is taken from the central government and from the state government, and power is given to the local self-government, can be called as decentralization of power. It is a very unique feature in our Indian democracy. So where the local people started to involve in the democracy, that is the what? Local self-government. What is called? This the decentralization of power. Decentralization of power. So power is taken from the central government and the state government and is given to the local self-government. It's a very unique feature in our Indian democratic system because you can see the involvement by the local people in the decision making or in the democracy, that is only through the local self-government. So amendment is done in constitution during 1992 to the local self-government bill, that is 1992. It is very important. Some steps are taken, amendment is done. So what are those steps? Usually it is asked for 3 marks question. What are the steps taken? No? Constitutionally mandatory to conduct regular elections. So for every 5 years once, the elections must conduct to elect the members for the local self-government, that is in both rural and in urban, that is in both panchayats and corporations. So conduction of election became mandatory according to 1992 amendment. Number 2, seats were reserved for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and for the OBC, scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and for other backward class. Seats were reserved in the local self-government at both executive and legislative level. At both executive and legislative level, the seats were reserved for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and OBC, and 33% of the seats are reserved for women. That is 1/3 seats. 1/3 seats were reserved for women. So please remember, reservation for the scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and other backward class is an example for what type of power sharing means. An example for power sharing between different social groups. Community government, I said, while doing the power sharing chapter, is an example for social groups, power sharing between the different social groups. Community government, Belgium, I said. So in our country, India, power is shared between the different social groups. Here you can see scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, OBC, other backward class. They are all given the reservation in the local self-government. That is an example for power sharing between different social groups. Another point I said, power sharing, reservation for women. Another unique feature, amendment in 1992, amendment for the decentralization of power. Now, women got reservation 1 by 3 seats, that is 33% of seats are reserved for women, and an adequate election commission are established. So to conduct a smooth elections in the regular intervals of time for the local self-government, state election commissions in each and every states of India got established. So that is the another point. Power and revenue was shared with the local government. So even government planned to share its revenue resources along with the what? Along with the local self-governments. When you look into the local self-government, in rural you can see Panchayat Raj system. Panchayat. So Panchayat Raj system you can see in the rural local self-government system. That is three tiers of Panchayat Raj system. One it is Gram Panchayat. Three tiers again it is Gram Panchayat. Number 2 it is Mandals or Mandal Panchayats. Blocks or Samiti, both it is same. Mandal Panchayat, blocks or Samiti, and another one it is Zilla Panchayat, that is at the district level. Zilla Parishad. Zilla Parishad, it is at the district level. So these are the three tiers of Panchayat Raj system in the local self-government at the rural India. So Zilla Parishad, it is for the it is at the district level. So Gram Panchayat, it is at the village level. Mandal level, at the taluk level, you can see the Mandal Panchayat. Apart from this, you can see the existence of Grama Sabhas. Grama Sabhas. Grama Sabhas is the foundation for the Panchayat tier system. So in the Grama Sabha, it is the body of all the adult voters of that particular Gram Panchayat who supervise the working of the Gram Panchayats. So usually yearly twice the Grama Sabha meets to discuss regarding the developmental plans of that Gram Panchayat. So usually who are the members means all the adult voters of that particular Gram Panchayat are usually going, are the members, not usually, are the members of the Grama Sabhas. Okay. Who is the head of the Gram Panchayat means we call him as the Sarpanch. To remember the term, what is the term? Sarpanch. Panch means member, Sarpanch means head. Head of the Gram Panchayat is known as Sarpanch. So at the district level, Zilla Parishad. Who is the head at the Zilla Parishad means chairperson will be there. Chairperson. Okay, this three tier of Panchayat Raj system should be known to you. For the multiple choice question, the question may arise from this corner. And when you come to urban, it is municipalities and corporation. So what we call for the head of the corporations means they are called as mayors. Corporation, usually corporations are in the big cities like Bangalore, Mysore, Chennai and Mumbai. So in those big cities, you can see the corporation, the head of the corporation is called as mayor. Political head of the corporation is called as mayor. Whereas in the semi-urban regions or in the towns, you can see the existence of what? Municipalities. So what we call for the head of the municipalities? Municipal chairperson. We call them as the municipal chairperson. So that's it to speak about the two chapters, that is regarding power sharing and federalism. So in this video I completed the rapid revision of the two chapters from your political science, that is power sharing and federalism. In my next video I am going to speak regarding the gender, religion, caste, political parties and outcomes of democracy, which are the other three chapters and having more weightage in your examination. So the board exams are soon approaching, so keep studying. The worries are far away from you now regarding the social science, because scoring 95 plus has become easy for you all. In my upcoming videos, I even cover the rapid revision for economics and for the geography and for the remaining chapters of your history, and even I will come with the videos related to previous year questions. So stay connected, do subscribe my channel and keep watching. Give the alert, uh, press the bell icon to get the alert from my channel, so instantly before your examinations I will upload all these videos whichever I said. So stay connected, and meanwhile utilize the time maximum to study and focus on your studies. So for social science, uh, do follow whatever the concepts I discuss here and catch the questions whatever I say here. So it will fetch you the good marks. The result will be definitely there for you in your examination if you keep tracking whatever the concepts and whatever the questions I discuss. So stay connected. I will connect you back through this YouTube channel again with the remaining chapters of your political science. Uh, Keep studying, keep learning sharp. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you.